so lovely to be reading along with you, and I loved your poems. So yeah, I write very short poems, actually, so I'm kind of a lazy poet. But I'm going to read some poems from my poetry collection, Small Talk, and I have some copies if you would like one at the end. But yeah, I grew up in a very small town called Bhopal, which is unfortunately known for the Bhopal gas tragedy. So my mom was at my age when that happened, and so although it is too obvious to start with the title poem of the collection, I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to start with the poem titled Small Talk. In small towns like ours, the rivers are always ending. In small towns, not even the lilt in our voices ever touches us. In our towns, we forget why we walk, why we sometimes try. In our towns, we pray, mostly for everything we can remember. So yeah, that's the title poem of the collection, and I love writing about cities. It's my obsession, I think, or places, because I don't quite know where to place myself geopolitically, especially at this point. And I think we're all kind of, borders are becoming very, very sort of porous and strange. But I wrote a poem, which I almost want to rewrite now, called Night and Back for Kashmir, 2 or 3 years ago, and so much has happened since, so much has changed, so much keeps going on. But this is the poem I wrote 2 years ago for Kashmir. It's titled Night and Back. Kashmir, you are a name I once had. The Gulmohar falls on my chest like a stone. I remember the geography of it. How the Jhelum slithered your body to bruise. These are words I know, for their own sake. I know what so much smoke can mean so close to home. So yeah, that is the poem for Kashmir. I've also been writing, Small Talk is a lot about growing up in Bhopal, which is a small town, but apparently when I say 3 million people here, that's like a huge number, but in India that's like, I don't know, backyard. So, you know, I wrote a lot about, like, you know, in a city where you kind of know everyone and everyone knows everyone, and but yeah, one of the people I know and closest to, but still also don't know, is my mom, because I really don't know what she was like when she was in college, and I hear she was a wild one, but to me she seems, I don't know, my mom. So I wrote a poem trying to imagine what she was like when she got married. She once told me I used to hate kids before I had you. So since then I've been kind of scared and concerned. So I wrote a poem for her, Sandalwood. In my mother's room, there is a kind of light I cannot drape. In the sandalwood closet, her wedding sari hangs with the ripple of temple bells ringing. Here is the Hindi I don't speak. It is the color of my mother on her wedding day. Ma, 27, tucking in this continent of herself, almost close to light. What moon shone that day? Answer, in other words. So yeah, that's the poem for my mom. I always make it a point to read that one, just because I'm scared of what will happen to me, and she'll go back to, like, I don't like kids, you know, really. Don't read for me anymore. So, yeah, but I did a writing residency in Iceland in this very small village called Siglufjordur. It took me a long time to master that pronunciation, trust me, but it's a very small village, has a lot of dogs, but just 300 people. And it's in the northernmost part of Iceland, and it's really beautiful. And I was writing a lot of poems about nature, which I never grew up near, but since then I've sort of been obsessed with like these large elemental nature words and imagery. So this one is Spring, although now when I was reading it I was like, this is kind of a winter poem, but anyway. This one is titled Spring. I know you by the sound of you leaving. A river longs to be a soft, growing forest. Dying, it places its faith in everything. And then the second poem that I wrote there, I went there for nonfiction, so I really shouldn't have been writing so much poetry, but I did anyway. And this one's titled, Let Us Consider. We are no longer here, and our silence has a name it answers to. In this light, I can almost see you, walking through the noise among the softest stones. And yeah, then I'm gonna read maybe 2 more short ones and then call an end to like my short, lazy poems. This one's called This Body. This body wants what it wants, like a mirror, edging, waiting to shrink open. And this one's called Apology. All day, the winter light lies on my back like a stranger coming to your door, asking for apology. Yeah, I think that winter poem actually, I think I wrote it in New York because I had never seen snow before. And I grew up in a town where winter for us is like a very nice, sunny, happy fall day here. So it was just so bizarre to me that there's a thing called snow. You know, people have to wear all these layers, and like they have to like go out, and there's snow, and there's light, and it can be dark, and but yeah, winter is fascinating to me. And then I have a couple of new poems that I wrote very recently, actually. This one's called Hospital Poem, because I don't think many people know this, but I grew up in a hospital because my father was a doctor, and my mom is a professor of forensic medicine, so she has to do postmortems, and so she's in mortuary a lot. And my dad's a pediatrician, so he deals with life, and my mom deals with death, in a sense. And I grew up on the second floor of a hospital, so whenever I had to go to school, go to anywhere, I had to like pass by the entire hospital, pass by the ward, see the people. Pediatric hospital, it's really painful to see, I think children especially, sick when they're so young. And my dad would be working with premature kids who would sometimes weigh just a pound, and try to save them. So this is a complicated, and I think now I'm understanding what it meant to sort of grow up in that environment for 18 years of my life. So I wrote this poem called Hospital Poem in 3 sections. Mammography. My house is aging, as a breast sagging, long behind these windowless walls. Surgery. Doctor, I want all this grief removed from my body, like a floret of pencil shavings that crackle under touch. mortuary. Her body hangs over my body as cold suns on all the days I've now forgotten. I'm going to end it with two short ones that I wrote about New York and big cities, because now this feels like a big city to me. I don't know about you, but it can be very crowded, especially in Manhattan, and the NYU campus, where everyone's pushing everyone. I'm short, I get pushed over often, I'm bitter all the time. When I see taller people, I can actually be seen on the street walking down. So yeah, these are two short poems for New York, I guess. This city, with its knees folded back, sees me, feed my lightless head to the fire, dancing where it knows memory becomes exposed, and skin light enough to bury. Someone within me waters all of my bones and keeps dead fish on my pyre. Thank you all for being here. My books are, I have some copies of my books in 4 different colors, because the edition comes in 14 different colors, but I have 4 right now. And they're all, every aspect of the book is handmade. So it's handmade by different people in Eastern India, and their names are inside the book. So you'll know who is the weaver of the silk sari that's, your book is bound in, etc. And who's done the calligraphy. And the calligraphy is original, and for every copy it's a different person, and it's all handmade. So that's going to be on sale from a sliding scale of 5 to 10, whatever you want. But otherwise, it's also on Amazon. And I ship the books myself, so they all come signed. They all come with a little note, so I might share with you a line of a poem I'm reading, or a book that I'm reading, or something.
But the retail price is much higher, isn't it?
The retail price, well, in India too, it's like it's like $2.
Oh.
And here I'm like, if you buy it on Amazon, it's $10.
That's what I mean. I'm just saying that it's a good deal.
Yeah, it's like a good price. Yeah. I'm clearly I'm like very confused about my concepts of retail price. But this is my last poem. Thank you. A small animal speaks from my throat and asks, for instance, if I should like to die in a lonely place like this, or folded in the shape of my country on the corner of my bed. Nothing more than it strokes across my body, or weeping bitterly. Thank you.